I'm going to start this discussion. Very good evening to you, Guyanese people. I'm going to start this discussion not saying, but recognizing that 40 years ago, the people that looked like me, and I'm not racist, I'm Guyanese. 40 years ago, the people that looked like me were absolutely certain that the Burnham government, regime, whatever it was, dictatorship, all kinds of things we called the Burnham government. And again, this is not racist. This is what we said. This is how we felt. We said what we felt. We always need to say what we feel. It could be right or it could be wrong. But you must have that opportunity to always express your feelings. So what Indians felt in like 40 years ago, it was that Burnham did. And I'm saying I felt that too. 40 years ago, I was about 20 years old. 40, 50, 60, whatever years ago, when Burnham used to rule. We learned that sacrifice was made using human lives. I'm seeing a video coming out there that says the brother of the hotel owner said a few things about sacrifices and all that. I am saying that for the love of money, power, and wealth, and for knowing this present regime that Bar Jagdeo manages, and everybody asks me, well, what is it with Bar Jagdeo? It is that I know that he is the boss in Guyana. He's the boss of the PPP party. Without him, nothing moves. He's the boss for all the ministers. Without him, nothing moves. And he's the boss with all the big businesses, all the big contracts. Without him, nothing moves. You heard that Susu thing. So Guyanese, we have a problem. So we prefer to be one place or the other. So we're still set in that mode. Whilst I was seeing some beautiful pieces where Guyanese Indians are coming out and saying what they feel, we still have that thing, protect your own. But who is your own? Your own has been betraying you forever. And we, as a Guyanese nation, have been betrayed for the last 60 years. Minus a few years with Hoyt and Cherry Jagan. But the evil in governance never really disappeared. And thanks to Bharat, it merged smoothly across to the PPP. And they'll only deny that there's no corruption, but we all know the difference. Let's talk about this. There are more questions than answers. So, the body drowned. All right? That's the narrative, the PPP, the government, the minister, the Bar Jagdeo, his president, minister of health, and a whole lot of other people on social media. All these fake profiles. The narrative is the body drowned. The body was in the deep end of the pool, and we didn't see it. Nobody saw it. The people that were looking were too anxious to see it. Now I hear this guy, we'll call him Donkey, this Adrianna'S guy. I had a lot of respect for him until today. He knows, all of a sudden, that the girl was alone in the pool. That jackass. How does he know that? Who said that? Who saw that? Who mentioned that? Where did that come from? Huh? The girl was bathing with her siblings. How was she alone in the pool? Nobody else was in the pool? Did somebody say that? Did you do a video on that? selling freaking narratives. You got to stop that shit, man. And Adrianna'S, I really feel disappointed in him trying that shit, you know. And what is it about drowning and all that? So I've done some research on the whole drowning thing, but I'm gonna ask, there are questions that are in Guyanese people's minds yet. And I'm telling you this, and I'm gonna tell you this today and tomorrow and for always. Your government, Indian people, your government will never accede to an independent investigation by FBI. Phone call records from police to whoever, inquiries, putting people, the police, the hotel owner, everybody, they can't stand up to that scrutiny. They are never ever going to allow your government, the PPP today, Bharat government, is never going to allow for an independent investigation, and they're going to wait until May the 5th. And then Bharat is going to do a press conference, and he's going to say, well, we tried, but because of certain logistical issues and blah, 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 we couldn't do it. And he's going to tell you this with a straight fucking face, like always. They can't have it. I'm saying that, and I'm saying that, and I'm saying that again and again and again. They cannot stand up to scrutiny from the FBI or all those reputable agencies. They're protecting people. They probably are protecting themselves based on assuming that that guy is the brother of the hotel owner. They're probably protecting themselves. I don't know if the guy is the brother of the hotel owner. I don't know that. But there are a few questions that these guys need to answer before they sell their evil narratives or their lies, trying to protect self-interest and maybe the murder or the Obi-Wan kind of thing. So how come a sheet got in to be in the pool, right where the body was, a bed sheet? Where'd that come from? Like she took it down there, and she was playing with it, and then, she got wrapped up in it, and then it became loose suddenly. Or somebody so it blew into the pool all of a sudden when she got there. I mean, how do you answer that, Mr. Barjagde, when you talk your bullshit? Be careful, man. Don't think you're the smartest ass on the block. I'm tired with you. So, all right, we have an explanation for the cotton wool. So we didn't see well; it was froth. Okay, that could be, that is okay, because if you're saying there's drowning, then froth is a subsequence, right? That's understood. But there was a bloody cotton wool on the ground right next to the body. Are we saying that it might have been stuffed in such a way that one set cotton wool fly out? I don't know. I'm asking these questions, but these are answers we need. Doctors didn't find cotton wool. So are we saying that the police that have so great credibility, in this case especially, who transported? Don't we know how government systems operate? I've been part of government and its systems. I know how it works. How difficult it is for somebody that is trying to cover up today to call somebody at a hospital and say, this is what we expect you to do. Somebody being afraid of their job, somebody being offered money, they can do anything to make a mess of that body, to make changes. If there was cotton wool, take it out. All right? But there are more questions. So we don't trust the police, or we don't trust the people at Lenora. Not because we don't trust them so much, but they can be bought. Anybody can be bought. So many people are afraid of so many things. It's difficult. We live in Guyana. Look around you. How many times aren't you afraid that you can probably lose your job? Or people are living in fear in Guyana. People are afraid of the government. I know that. You know why I know that? So some of my friends called me and said, "Why, you better careful because they can find you." Of course they can find me. But careful for what? So I'm gonna live. I'm not getting in there. I'm gonna ask this question now. I'm gonna tell you. At least 24 hours a body takes to float after drowning. Assuming that she died at 2 o'clock in the evening or drowned. So these guys that they're selling this stupid narrative or this evil narrative, trying to protect the hotel owner and probably themselves, a body takes at least, the least 24 hours to float. And this, when I did the research, it says like 24 hours, 72 hours. A lot of time it could take to float. But it's not 18 or 19 hours. So why was the body floating? Because if you die, like, so I'm going to read this piece of thing. The reason that a human, and this is from independent AI on Quora. When a body is found floating in a body of water, it doesn't immediately mean that they drowned. Just think about those mobster movies when they dump bodies into rivers and shipping lanes. In fact, if a person drowns, it will probably take even longer for the body to return to the surface. When a dead body first enters the water, it does not sink to the bottom. Water eventually fills up the lungs, expel any excess air, and bring the corpse to the bottom. So it means that the lungs have to be filled with water before the body can go down. So the air in the lungs help us to be buoyant, keep us afloat, right? The reason that human beings naturally float is because of the air in our lungs. The air acts as a buoyant force for the body, making it impossible for you to simply lie down at the bottom of the swimming pool. However, they have no control over whether their lungs fill up or not. And this is the most important part. That was like the preview. If the corpse falls into the water face down, they might never sink to the bottom. A corpse is a dead person being placed in the water. If they're placed face down, they might never sink to the bottom, like in your pool. Why? As there will be no real chance for air to escape from the lungs. So the body is there, the head is in the water, the nose is the only passageway. The butt is probably filled with shit. So the nose is the only passageway, and the mouth is down in the water. There's no way the air from the lungs can escape. That body floats. Remember, the least time is 24 hours for the body to float. The least. We had Adrianna'S body at 19 hours. So we're saying that if a corpse is put on the back, if the corpse is put into the water on their back, air can escape. Water can take its place and the body will quickly sink. I'm asking you people here that are going to be watching this video, how was Adrianna'S my God, I always make that mistake. How was Adrianna'S body positioned in that pool when the father went for her? How was it positioned? It was lying face down the way I remember it. The sheet that got in there, where did that come from? And as all that is happening, and everybody is screaming and crying, we saw 3 people upstairs in the hotel. And how does Bar Jagdeo explain that bit? They're upstairs quietly looking over all these stupid people down there, quietly looking over, and whilst they're looking over, there's smoke emanating from a room right next to where they are, and they don't seem to mind it. It means that their hotel is going to be burned to the ground, and they're not even asking for help. They just don't care. You don't think that there are fire extinguishers in that hotel? You don't think that those people can and may have prior means to, work on a fire? They didn't care. They wanted the evidence gone. And this is simple. The authors and now the fabricators that are trying to kill this to sell their own evil narratives, the fabricators that are fabricating this narrative that she was in a pool all the time, that's what they want you to believe. Can you believe there are few people? And those people are managing the affairs of Guyana. Those people are your government. And they're trying to tell you that what you saw on video isn't right. They're trying to sell narratives to you that makes your conscience go upside down, makes your belly torn. It's like, how can I believe that? And they're never gonna, again I'm telling you, your government is never going to allow independent investigation by FBI. They cannot stand up to that scrutiny. And Guyanese, when it's time to vote, you judge them right there because I said so. I said so, and it's not even rocket, it's not even science. But you see, the thing is this, a lot of us are very blinded by race, and the ordinary Indian man on the street is like, bye, if me not vote for Bharat, who am I going to vote for? There's no other options, right? I'm not selling politics. I'm never going to be a politician. But I'm giving you reasons to think. And I'm going to continue doing this all the time. Giving you enough reasons to understand that you are being manipulated. And I'm going to tell you this again. Some of my friends hate me for saying this. Some of my black friends. Black people did the same thing 30, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. They listened to Burnham when they knew it wasn't making sense. The narrative was just a narrative, was just a story, but it was a lie. And black people, and you know what? I want people like my age, black people in Guyana, who know the truth today, who can see the evil. I want you to come out and say that there were many things wrong. There were many evil things happening in the days of the PNC under Burnham. And in that way, Guyanese can learn to trust each other more. And the Indians can start recognizing that evil cuts across both races. And Guyanese need to know now that the coolie man and the black man don't have no difference where it comes to lies, evil, fabrication, and brainwashing and all that bullshit. They are one and the same thing. And you know what's the problem? We are to be blamed because we don't allow ourselves to think hard enough. We don't allow ourselves to process information enough. We just identify, like in those days we had Burnham, good God, he was our God, for black people. And then now we get Bharat as the God for Indian people. And our gods that we create. But you know where your God is supposed to be? Right there in your soul. Right there in your conscience. Right there in your chest. Don't deny that God. Don't deny your God for any other God. You know what God said? Don't worship no idols. We idolize people in Guyana, and that is a sin. It is not sin, it's a stupid thing to do. Your conscience knows every truth. I'm just asking you, every one of you, to listen to you. Don't listen to me. Stop listening to me. I could be lying like hell. Listen to you. And if you don't know enough, do the research. Ask questions. That is how we learn. Ask people. And your conscience knows exactly where you should find information, who you should ask, who you should talk to. You all those things, we as human beings, we are super powerful. But we are lazy. And we are selfish. And a lot of us are greedy. And a lot of the people that are going to help with the narrative of evil are the people that are benefiting. Probably from big contracts, from whatever positions they have. So let me ask this last question. What would Guyana lose if an independent investigation happened? Mr. Barjagdeo, tell me about the loss that we will suffer. Tell me about the millions of dollars that we will lose for independent, and tell me that we can't afford it. I don't think it's like we can't afford it as a nation. I think it's you can't afford it as a person. Those are my final thoughts on that, and they're all my thoughts. They're not gospel truth. They're just my thoughts. Are we okay with that? Thank you very much, Guyana. I know we listened. Thank you very much. And I guess it's about time I leave. Thank you for the people that watch. I have one other issue. Your government has employed many people with fake profiles on Facebook and internet. So every time you see something that doesn't add up on Facebook, on the internet, you check that profile, see how many photos they have, see if it makes sense. It usually doesn't. See, it will take a lot of effort to identify fake profiles. But the only people that are selling the PPP's narrative is the PPP government. Not even the Indian people. Not even the Indian people. They and their conscience are working. And if their so, it would have been nice. It would have been great if Indian people were coming out and saying, but they can't. Because they have a conscience and it works. The only people that don't have a conscience is a few people that are selling this narrative, and the hotel owners and the people that benefit from big business and the government. They're simply not allowed to have a conscience because money buys conscience. Every time. Money buys conscience. Am I supposed to go and tell you how many times I know of situations where money bought conscience in Guyana? We live in Guyana. We bribe the cop every day on the roads. I have so many personal experiences where cops abuse power, where they're bribed. But you know what's evil in Guyana too? I heard that guy say the cops want to be independent, and I agree with him. But not in Barjagdew's government. They can't be. He has to have a handle on everything. That's who he is. one other thing. You know, the people that knows this are the people that are sitting in PPP, the people that were there, the people like all right, let me forget about the Nagamutus and the Ramjatans and the Ralph Ramkarans. They got kicked out and by Bharat. The entire of PPP knows that. They knows that because these were the only people in PPP who had independent minds and were dependent or didn't want to steal the resources of the nation. So they got kicked out. Because they did not want to steal the resources of the nation, because they were honorable men, that is Kemraj Ramjatan, Moses Nagamutu, and Ralph Ramkaran, and many others, they got kicked out. The rest that are in there, let's say the older folks like Nocta's time, Nocta, his generation that time, all the people there, older folks. Ramjatan is, the younger crew. The Ramotars and them. That whole set, man. Me forget all the name so. But they know. And I'm asking them to come out and let Cherry's legacy live. Because he said, speak the truth if you're a majority of one. Even if you have to support Bharat, let us hear your truth. You elderly gentlemen that followed Cherry, let's hear your truth. Let's hear how you're supporting him today with his narratives. Let's see you. Let's see you stand out. Come on social media. Talk to the nation. Support Bharat. Tell the nation that he's telling the truth. The other people, all these other ministers and them, I want to see them come and start support Bharat with his truth. I really need to see you guys stand up. My friend, Mr. Zulfikar, stand up. Let's hear your truth, man. I know you guys are afraid. But karma works every time. You know why it works? Because it works within the human consciousness. They know. People know when you're lying. They know when you're speaking the truth also. I can go on forever here, There's so many things to discuss. But all I wanted to share more than anything else, I'm going to read it finally for the second time. If a corpse falls in the water face down, they might never sink to the bottom. So that body didn't float up. It never sank. Does that sound sensible, Guyanese people? Because the lungs, the drowning part, why they say she drowned? All you gotta do, take something, put them in your mouth, throw some water inside, and that could have happened any place. And your stomach get water. But you know what we haven't seen yet? Guyanese people have not seen? Is a written account. Why isn't that released to the media yet? The written account of the detailed autopsy. Why haven't we seen? I want to ask these guys to put their face on camera in this day and age where people see things and they believe you because they can see things and they know if you're lying or not. Because human beings are not stupid anymore. They can see things. Why didn't we see those people with their sign, with their signatures, saying exactly and reading it out? Why they had to give Bharat and the president? That's a big deal. It's so important that Bharat and the president had to do it. And this other guy, Minister of Health, had to come with his bullshit again. Guyanese people are not stupid anymore. This is a day and age that has shifted from the place that we were 20 years ago when you started fooling us. 30 years ago, 20-something years ago, when Bharat started, sliding. He was sliding and sliding and sliding. But those were the years when Indian voted for the PPP, because they couldn't trust the PNC, because black people up to this day are not coming out and saying that Burnham did some shit that wasn't good. He did some evil things. He supported a lot of wrong things. You want un Kuliman to identify them? Come on, black people. Step up to the plate. Let's build a nation. Let's build a nation and stop the segregation. Call truth by its name. Call evil by its name. That's my intention. I want your support. As a matter of fact, I am supporting you, because a lot of you want to speak the truth, say the truth, call truth by its name, call evil by its name. You're not saying it. And there are a lot of us right now in Guyana, and I'm looking you in the eye. You're there and you're looking at me and you're saying, you know what? I feel this way too. But it takes balls to say it, right? My brothers and sisters, in God and in consciousness and in conscience, you don't have to say it in English language. You can say, well, maybe not think so, you know, man. Maybe I think like a that kind. And that thing been happen like a that. That's okay. Because you know what? With your voice, you're communicating to other souls that have conscience too. You can speak anyhow. But in this day and age, Guyana needs your truth. Guyana really needs your truth. Guyana needs the truth of every Guyanese. I have taken up a challenge, not with nobody, with me, to speak what I know to be truth, to recognize it every time. And I don't care for party or race. I'm never going to be aligned to anybody. I see Critic recently, and I stopped hearing Critic, and I feel sad for Critic, because Critic was a powerful conscience in Guyana. When conscience was shifting differently, Critic stood up and he said his piece. He didn't have much governmental experience. He didn't know the evil in government, but he found out. And now I feel he's muzzled, and I'm sorry for him. I know he have what it takes to get out of it, but he's probably entrapped by money. He didn't know that $1 billion worth of contracts, or 100 million, or whatever it is, could kill conscience, but it could. Guyanese, let's keep our minds fixed on truth, God. And God is not up there, and he's not coming to save you. He's not coming to save any of us. He is saving you momentarily. He lives in you. He lives within you. He is your conscience. Your God is your conscience. Religion fooled you. They never wanted you to know who you really are. They wanted you to think that God is in heaven, far away place. You can't really connect with him. So you have to go and bow down, and somehow he will hear you. That is bullshit. You don't have nothing to tell God. He wants you to listen to him. And he speaks to you through your conscience. And the people who wants to deny it, I am asking you and challenging you to give me reasons why you know that your conscience and God are not one and the same thing. Your conscience ever tell you for do a wrong thing? So how come your conscience is not God? So my encouragement to you here today, to all of us, is to listen to our deepest feelings. And I'm probably going to mention the way Adrianna'S father listened to his feelings. and he knew that his daughter was in that hotel, when all the forces and the narratives were pushing him away from that hotel, the lies about the car and the car number, and I was asleep no man. What does Barrett have to say about all those things? That complicity with police. Why you think you can sell narratives to people? You think Guyanese people are that stupid and dumb? And I don't want this to be racist. And concerning those guys that broke and enter, and just in case anybody wants to say, you know, me shut my mouth and me not talk about them, the scrapies guys that broke and enter, those are a set of people that live in their own world. They see an opportunity and they strike while the iron is hot. And the police did a great job getting them and putting them where they need to be. I'm hearing that somebody else is saying now that the police picked them up on the road. Be that what it may, I hope that justice is served. And the scrapies thing, I still hate the way we talk about scrapies. It's like, you know, we have this hierarchy. Like we have, us Indians had it, man. We have the lowest class, then the other class, and what 3 or 4 different, 10 different tiers, classes of people, and we live in a subjective manner. So what about if scrapies are just less fortunate, and they had less? They maybe have single parents, and they didn't have opportunity to. They didn't have guidance and opportunity. How about us saying then, you know, that maybe we need to create situations, but no, they're scrapies. A lot of those black folks that are doing crimes and stuff, especially black. I'm not saying all black, because I know the difference. But I'm just going to mention this. I ain't beat me up. I beg you. I think it's a thing from age old that black men need to take more responsibility for their children. And I'm not attacking anybody here. Leave the ladies with the kids, and then I understand. I am a single parent. There are people here watching me that knows that I grew up as a single child with a mother only. So I know what it is. So it's opportunities that we lacked and many other things. Rather than brand them scrapies, we can reach out to them. And if your government, Mr. Barjagdeo, is failing to do that, branding and mocking people, human beings, which you promise to serve and protect, you're just disgusting. You're going to be replaced, and there's a government that's going to do it better and do it the right way. I think you've served you have outlived your usefulness. There are many Indian people that don't agree with me, but I agree with me. And there are many people here who try to be honest to themselves and live within their conscience, know that I'm speaking the truth. Like I say, I can continue forever because of how it feels. But finally, that body was was gently pushed into the pool by the guy with his 2 wet foot, right? And the sheet was also pushed into the pool, and she was pushed with her face down. And because of what I just read, and I want every one of you to research, if somebody dies, or a corpse, listen to me carefully, I'm saying it again, I'm repeating this for effect. If a corpse is pushed into a body of water, a pool, whatever, and it's face down, oxygen does not get to escape from the lungs. So the corpse remains buoyant. And if you look at the body, it was like limp with the chest alone, you know, up. When somebody dies, normally they're like spread eagled. You know, their hands are and their feet are all spread eagled, and they float up because their gases, every part of their body has deteriorated, and the gases have caused them to float up. The gases within their body, and that is how they float. So Ariana, and to all the, this is disgusting. Why don't our doctors, our pundits, our preachers, why don't they step up? Do some research, do anything, do what I am doing. Speak your truth, man. What is it we are afraid of? Did you know that Jesus Christ was about the greatest politician on the planet? He fought a political system, the entrenchment of a set of people doing a set of things who were hypocrites. That is the Jews in his day. He fought for them. We worship him today, but we don't worship his ideals. We are afraid when people do wrong things. You know why John got killed? John the Baptist? Christians? Because he told Herod that it is not right for you to sleep with your brother's wife. It is not right. John mentioned that. Herod's wife, I hope I'm getting it right. I think it was Herod. I'm almost sure. Yes, Herod's wife asked for his head on a platter. When Jesus Christ heard it, he wasn't worried. You know why he wasn't worried? Because he knew that this is a body that has died. The soul is where it needs to be. There's nothing to worry about. So Jesus Christ was about one of the greatest politicians on the planet. He didn't want power. He just wanted truth and honesty. And the guys that are preaching to you every day, the mages and the pundits and the pastors, I'm not hearing them talking anything. When their politicians screw up, messed up, thief, lie, do whatever. Not a word from them. They're afraid. Nicodemus was afraid too. He went to Jesus by night. Just a few thoughts there. Guyanese, I thank you very much for listening to me. The guys that listened, the guys that would listen, those are my sincerest thoughts. Those are my sincerest thoughts. And I feel very comfortable sharing them. I know that they would be beneficial to many of us who are thinking on the same terms and are still not willing at this point to come out and make their voices heard. I don't want to be any special voice, but I want to be a voice. And there are many of you here watching me that will be watching me that wants to be a voice. I'm begging you, don't be afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. You know what there is to be afraid of? Having a conscience and not acknowledging it, not living up to its standards. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful day. And my dear sister there, thank you very much for looking. I'm going to leave now. Thank you again.